Welcome to day 300 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein.
300,
300, day 300.
What's with the goggles?
Well, so whenever I go to parties, it always seems like I'm getting hit in the eye by something. So I just wanted to be prepared for day 300.
That's odd,
So is it okay if I wear these?
I guess.
Okay, so day 300 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here, my twin brother, Brian. And remember, these videos are sponsored by NFT Tech. They're an investor in Cloutfeed. So there's not really too much news today, other than it's day 300 of our DeSo journey. And we'll let you in on a secret. It's not really day 300 for us. It's really day like 302, but we somehow miscalculated the numbers. But we'll just pretend that it's really day 300. One of these days, we'll adjust it to get the right number.
Yeah, so I guess the biggest news is that the DeSo price fell. So it's our 300th day, and the DeSo price is the lowest it's been since, I don't even know. $53.40 it hit early this morning. There just hasn't been a lot of buyers coming in, and I think some of the long-term holders are taking some money off the table. It is odd timing because I think there's so much happening behind the scenes. Like, I'm really tempted to buy more DeSo right now if I didn't already own a ton. Although I think I might actually go and buy some just because, and this isn't investment advice of any kind, but I feel like the next few months we're going to see so much innovation within this space and within this ecosystem that it's almost silly not to at least buy a little bit. But you never know what can happen. I mean, it could drop to $10 for all we know. So just be careful, believe in the technology, which is what we do. And I think the price will catch up. Nader posted a little bit about this yesterday, and we'll touch on that here in a little bit.
So I guess since we're talking about the price of DeSo and how it's so low, I guess the party's over, right?
I don't know. I love what's happening. I love what's happening behind the scenes. I love what the Octane Fund's doing. I love what's coming on next week. I think on the 24th, maybe a day or two after that, we're going to see a lot of changes, and it's going to be some really cool stuff that we've been talking about over the course of the last couple of weeks. So I'm really optimistic. Like I said this before, like I'm more optimistic now at $53 than I was when it was approaching $200 a few months ago. And I think it's mostly because of the technology and what's happening. And I really love what's happening within the Spanish community, people getting onboarded thanks to Nell. There's a lot of cool NFT projects popping up. We're working on a lot of NFT stuff. I'm just really excited.
Yeah, and okay, I'm going to take these goggles off because I think the 300-day party's over with. But I think 53 at a really low point. I guess it's the all-time low at least since it's been listed on an exchange. And I mean, it's a good opportunity to get in if you haven't. Again, this isn't investment advice, but we've seen it reach almost 200, like Brian said, and we've seen it fall all the way down to 53. There's nobody can really say what's going to happen in the future, but there is a lot of money being put into DeSo, and that's only a little slither of what the foundation has to invest. So I only expect great things from here. Huge apps are coming out like Gem and Story, and there's just so much on the horizon to look forward to. And Brutal said he's working on a super wallet that is as easy as Gmail.
Now with Brutal, you don't always know if he's being sarcastic or if he's being truthful. So it's possible he's not. But from what he was saying in Discord yesterday, it does appear that he's working on something to make things easier wallet-wise. And that includes ideas for mass transfers, mass sales of coins, stuff like that. And I think it's something that could be utilized and something that would be used if it did come about. Brutal also asked the community for some suggestions of what else could be included. So we don't know if for sure he's working on this or he's just kind of throwing it out there, but it would be cool if he is.
Yeah, well, it's like, you say about a lot of people, what you see is what you get. With Brutal, it's what you see is maybe sometimes kind of what you get. So we don't know. It might be coming, it might not be, but Brutal is an asset to this community, whether he's sarcastic or not. Right. And so Ethereum's losing market share, NFT market share to Solana. What do you make of that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, JP Morgan put out a statement saying this, saying that Ethereum is losing market share to Solana, and this could continue, obviously because of gas fees. I know gas fees are really high with Ethereum right now. I was talking to somebody and they said that it was just costing them just to burn an NFT. I think Cyrus said this. It's costing you like $60 just to burn an NFT. So it's crazy, and that's not talking about the minting fees, the transfer fees, all of those fees. So it adds up, and people are getting frustrated. And Solana they're turning to, but the crazy thing is that DeSo is even cheaper than Solana, and DeSo has this whole social layer built around it. I think that's an opportunity for DeSo. Like, as you see these people leaving Ethereum, they're all going to look for another blockchain. Right now, it might be Solana, but I think if we can appeal to them as they're leaving, they might say, hey, maybe I'll try DeSo as well. And I think that once people get onto DeSo and see how easy it is to mint, and just how friendly the community is, and how important a social layer built around the NFT market can be, I think that could keep them around.
Well, there's like this process that blockchains have to go through, and we're starting to see Solana do what Ethereum originally did. And they had to establish themselves within the art community and also within the collecting community. And, it was always Ethereum. Ethereum was like the #1 NFT marketplace. It still is by far. But people are gaining trust in Solana. They're saying, okay, Solana's been around for quite some time. It's not going anywhere. Let's experiment and mint some Solana NFTs. And I suspect DeSo is going to follow. It might not be this month. It might not be this year. It might not be in 2 years from now, but I think it's going to follow. And I think DeSo is eventually it's going to be one of the prime players in the NFT space. Ultimately, I see them all kind of merging together, and there's going to be this cross-chain type thing. I think the majority of NFT marketplaces, whether it's OpenSea or whether it's some of the Solana-based marketplaces or DeSo-based marketplaces, I think eventually they're all going to be interoperable with different chains. And I think Solana marketplaces and OpenSea will eventually have DeSo NFTs, and OpenSea will have Solana NFTs. And DeSo marketplaces like NFTZ and Supernovas and Polygram will probably eventually have Ethereum, Solana, and other chain NFTs. It's just a matter of time before I think that happens.
Yeah, and I think that like you as a DeSo optimist, I don't think you should be upset that, hey, there's going to be this convergence of chains in the NFT space, because in actuality, this should help DeSo, because DeSo will be the social layer that kind of can run it all. And whether that's going to be the case or not, I know Coinbase is going to have social features within their marketplace. I think that DeSo has this extraordinary opportunity from multiple angles, not just NFTs, but by providing this backbone for other NFT communities and other communities in general. And I think we're going to see a lot coming within the next few months in terms of threading of post, which is going to allow for additional communication layers. So you can have like message board type things. You can have threads, and I think that's important for artists and NFT producers to be able to communicate with their buyers, fans, etc.
No other chain has on-chain commenting for NFTs. Like there might be some marketplaces where there's NFTs posted and people can comment to it, but those comments aren't actually connected to that NFT on chain. So that's where DeSo has a chance to kind of separate itself. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different ideas that come about utilizing this social layer on top of NFTs as well.
Right.
So yesterday, Nader made some posts talking about the price after the price took some hits. And he just wanted to kind of encourage everybody not to really pay too much attention to the price. He said, be so good they can't ignore you and the market will catch up. And I think that's a really good point. Just don't focus on the price, just focus on improving DeSo on the protocol level, on the app layer. As if it improves, if people use it, the price only has one direction to go, and that's up, because people will need the DeSo cryptocurrency in order to function on some of these apps that are coming out.
Yeah, and I think it's important for the core team to say this, like I think less focus has to be on price. And I mean this when the price spikes too. So when the price goes up to $200, I don't think the core team should really be like pumping it, like saying, oh, our price is going through the roof, et cetera. I think we just got to remain focused on the technology and don't get involved with the price, because that can kind of like cheapen things, especially like when things go up. Like you don't want to focus on the price. You want people continuing to focus on the technology, and you want the price to naturally gain momentum. So I think like we've been saying it from the start, like it's the developers and the community that drives us, and that's what makes us optimistic about the future here. It's not the price at all. The price could go to $5 tomorrow and I would be just as optimistic. I'd be probably loading the boat with DeSo, but I'd be just as optimistic than when the price was at $150 or $160.
Wouldn't the boat sink if you loaded it with DeSo?
I don't know. I mean, we could maybe use those goggles you were wearing and fill those a little bit. They look pretty massive.
So Nader also said that he wanted to encourage us and let us know that the DeSo Foundation and DeSo team are still working hard. He said, we will keep shipping until the fundamentals are so strong that your mom is telling you about DeSo. So, you know, their plan is to just keep building, keep shipping until everyone knows about DeSo. Everybody's hearing about it on TV, in the magazines, the online publications, etc. So, you know, I think I have a lot of confidence in the core team. I think they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell Nader is not going to give up anytime soon. I mean, I could see the price being $53 in 2027 and Nader continuing to push forward with new innovations and new ideas. So I mean, he's all in on this. And just like I feel like we're all in from a technical standpoint, I think there's a lot of people on this protocol that are going to be here no matter what. And I think that's important. That's an important backbone for when you do get this rush of new users coming on board.
Yeah, for sure. And so I also want to talk about the Spanish community, because I know the Spanish community has been growing significantly on DeSo. And there's that's in large part due to Tunel and Haz Rodriguez, who we had on our show a few days ago. He's bringing part of his community onto the DeSo blockchain. And NFTs have been stimulated, especially the Spanish NFT market. You know, Tunel arrows have been huge. That's just one of the Spanish language projects that have been created on DeSo. There's so many more, and every day there's more popping up. You know, Bunny Coin, that's huge too. He's going to be coming on to DeSo very soon. And Gabriel GDS, right? That's who's helping onboard him. So what do you make of that?
Bunny Coin is Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, just go to YouTube.
Yeah, 32 million followers on YouTube. He's a Puerto Rican musician, artist, rapper, actor. He does it all, and he's really talented. So that's exciting. But like, what do you make of this whole Spanish community? It's like kind of like a whole new wave of people coming onto DeSo, getting excited about creator coins again, getting excited about NFTs again.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of like March and April of last year. Only that it's the second wave, and I think this wave of Spanish speaking people on DeSo could spark additional waves, and I think it's getting people more excited. I know within the NFT space there's a lot of excitement, and I think that the way they're integrating with these other nodes like CloutFeed, DeSocial World, where you can have these translations, it's making communications with people speaking other languages a lot easier, and it's going to help kind of, I guess you could say, bring together the community regardless of language. And I think that what Haz Rodriguez is doing, what Ito's doing with DeSocial World, I think this is all just feeding into the future of DeSo and getting people excited. It's like you have different groups of people all over the world in different, I guess, different languages, all acting as kind of nodes that can push forward and bring even more people. So I think once things really explode and get exciting, you're going to have these nodes that are going to explode, and you're going to see exponential growth.
Yeah, and Ado and Irwin Williams, I hope I'm saying his name right, of DeSocial World, they're actually working with Tunel, and they're helping them out. They are working to, what were they at? Oh, they're working on deployment of a new and improved Spanish feed for Tunel. Thanks to Ado of DeSocial World, Tunel is going to have a new improved feed there. So, I mean, it's great to see everybody working together, you know, like they're sort of competitors, but they're also teammates, because the more Spanish people that come, Spanish speaking people that come onto DeSo, the better it is for both DeSocial World and Tunel in general, and NFTZ in it, and pretty much every node out there. So, you know, it's like, we just want people coming in. And I think that's what's great about DeSo.
And I think like originally when you enter DeSo and you are creating a project or a node, anybody that's doing the same type of thing, I think you're prone to seeing them as competition and maybe in a negative light, because that's how Web 2 is. Like Web 2, it's just company versus company. But when you enter Web 3, it's not like that. And you slowly start to realize that you're working together, you're not working against each other. And sure, maybe one node will pull traffic from your node, but eventually if that node's pulling new traffic from outside of DeSo, it's going to come to your node, it's going to overflow to your node. So we're all teammates in this. And sure, there's going to be competition in some respects, but ultimately, I think we should all be happy for each other, because that's helping bring up DeSo. If DeSo doesn't flourish, then no node's going to be a success. If DeSo flourishes, then the majority of nodes that are out there right now are going to be a success.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And finally, I think what we want to do is just talk about some of the events that are taking place today. There's 2 Russian language clubhouse rooms today, one at 11 a.m. It's DeSo, Decibel, and Voiceover with Siva and Natalia Bell, Andrew MV, Simak Ilya, and Zolfi. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time. At 12 p.m. Eastern time, there's another Russian room. There's a lot of these Russian rooms going on in Clubhouse. TikTok strategy growth on DeSo with Twins Division, Natalia Bell, Gregory Krylov, Zolfi, Vera Vishka, Mashalin, Jewel Ko, Sabira, Siva, Priyanchek, and Izzy. I hope I didn't mess up any of those names. I'm sure I did. But then at 3 p.m., so yesterday I told you that there was this room at 3 p.m., the decentralized social security legals and DAO tokens, and I was actually confusing my days. That room's actually today at 3 p.m. With DeSo Chats, Miss Katie Ann, Michelle Lord. Jay Vague's gonna be there, Wildography, Franz Arthur of Supernovas, Annie Akpi, and Brian and I will also be there again at 3 p.m. Eastern time, talking about DAO tokens. It's going to be really interesting. We have some lawyers on hand to discuss it as well. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern time, another meme battle on StreamClout with Brock Pearson and LiftClout. Last week, I heard it went really, really well. It's on Twitch. It's just twitch.tv/StreamClout at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely check out those events and have a happy day.
Well, I just want to say, hey, did you check out the Chime In community event last night, right? That was pretty cool. And
yeah,
I think
it went really well. So Chime In's working much better now. Like at the first community event didn't go so well. People, I think it just overloaded the servers. This one went well. There were about 30 to 40 people in the room at some of the peak times. I stayed from about 8:30 till 9:30. Dylan Jagger League was there. Alex Volatis, Megan Vita, they were all there. It was a great crew. There was a lot of interesting discussion about DeSo and about other things within the crypto space, and there's a lot of small talk just going on. It was a great conversation.
I thought it was nice to just get to like know the people, and Dylan spoke a lot, just about like stuff unrelated to DeSo, and it was just nice to hear from them. I know Dylan spoke about his like general day at DeSo, like what he does mostly on DeSo, working for the foundation. Megan did the same thing. It was nice to be able to like picture what they're doing behind the scenes, and we have so many new faces coming to the foundation, and they're all working their butts off. It has me very optimistic.
Yeah, me too. So I think that's all we have for today. We're gonna have a happy 300th day. You guys have a great day as well, and we'll talk to everyone tomorrow.